Good evening, I'm Camelia and this is KiniNews. The Penang High Court has dismissed a bid by Guan Eng and his wife to strike out corruption and money laundering charge against them. Here's more on that. The Penang High Court denied an application by the state's former Chief Minister Lim Guan Eng and his wife Betty Chu to nullify the corruption and money laundering charges against them involving a foreign workers' hostel project worth 11.6 million ringgit. Judge Rofiah Mohamad this morning dismissed the duo's striking out application. In her judgment, she stated that the doctrine of rule against double jeopardy argued by the defense did not apply as it did not meet the requirements. She noted that the court found significant differences between the charges in the first proceeding, which was the purchase of a bungalow by Lim in today's case. When contacted by Malaysia Kini, Lim said they would file an appeal to the Court of Appeal to nullify the charges. Last year, Lim and Chu filed an application to strike out the corruption and money laundering charges on the grounds that the prosecution used evidence from a previous case involving Lim's purchase of a bungalow on Jalan Pinhorn, even though he was acquitted and discharged in 2018. They are relying on the legal principle of double jeopardy, namely that an accused person cannot be tried again on the same or similar charges following an acquittal or conviction. In a copy of the affidavit supporting the striking out bid, they claimed that the present charges violated their fundamental right against being charged for the same offence, which has seen the criminal court grant an acquittal. Perak Mufti Wan Zahidi Wan Teh has responded to the boycott against KK Mart and accusations that the company insulted Islam. Perak Mufti Wan Zahidi Wan Teh said the boycott against the KK Mart outlets has no justification. According to him, this is as the accusations that the company insulted Islam were not proven. He was quoted by Berita Harian as saying that from the explanation made by the KK Mart management and the public apology for the incident, as well as the explanation given to the Malaysian Islamic Development Department, it is clear that motive and intention in the case cannot be proven. Thus, he said based on Islamic judicial methods, accusations of insulting Islam against the management of KK Mart have not been proven. In addition, he added that the act of boycotting a certain race is also not in line with the Prophet's sunnah. Wan Zahidi said the KK Mart issue was sensationalized through hatred and anger, and its handlers strayed from the foundation of universal Islamic justice. He was commenting on the controversy which had erupted in March when pictures of socks bearing the word Allah being sold at a KK Mart outlet in Bandar Sunway went viral on social media. Following the uproar, KK Mart apologized to all its customers, especially the Muslim community, and confirmed that immediate action had been taken to stop the sale of the socks. UMNO Youth Chief Dr. Muhammad Akmal Saleh had then called for a boycott of KK Mart, which his party initially supported, but Supreme Council member Bung Mokhtar later ordered him to stop playing up the issue. The KK Mart issue resulted in an attempted firebombing of a KK Mart branch in Bidor, Perak, while police are also investigating an arson threat made against KK Mart's former supplier, Sin Tian Chang, Sendirian Berhad. PAS has questioned alleged contradiction of facts between two ministers in the same government. This was over Tengku Zafrul's failure to obtain leave to file an affidavit in Najib's house arrest bid. Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz's failure to obtain leave to file an affidavit in Najib Abdul Razak's house arrest bid raises various questions and concerns about the government's integrity and the Malay ruler's institution. This is according to PAS Secretary General Taqiyuddin Hassan. In a statement, he said the matter was compounded by Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's irresolute stance on the issue involving an alleged addendum order issued by former Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Ahmad Shah in January. He also highlighted Deputy Prime Minister Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's affidavit confirming the document's existence. Elaborating, he said without referring to the grounds of judgment in the denial of the application, PAS believes that the contradiction of facts between two ministers in the same government that has to be fixed via a court action paints a bad picture of the government and exposes its attitude toward a decree by the Agong. Taqiyuddin said the matter is made worse by several statements by the Prime Minister, who seems to want to wash his hands off the matter by making flip-flopping statements on the matter. The Kuala Lumpur High Court yesterday denied Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Zafrul's application to correct purported factual inaccuracies in Zahid's affidavit. Zahid's affidavit was in support of former Prime Minister Najib's judicial review to serve his remaining jail sentence at home. Still on the topic of Najib's house arrest bid, an NGO believes that allowing Najib home detention subverts constitutional monarchy. They also said that it was an affront to the rule of law. An NGO said that allowing former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak to serve the rest of his prison sentence at home will undermine the rule of law. In a statement, Project Sama said this is because the Home Minister has not made any regulation to enable home detentions. Elaborating, it said that Section 43 of the Prisons Act 1995 allows any prisoner to be released on license subject to any regulation made by the minister. It added that effectively freeing Najib in the name of home detention would be an affront to the rule of law. According to the NGO, it would be a blatant demonstration of double standards of law enforcement. The group said worse, it would be a subversion of constitutional monarchy and parliamentary democracy, a subversion of the very foundation of the Malaysian state. It added that house detention is not provided for in any law and only Parliament and the government can make laws. Project Sama was referring to an alleged addendum order issued by former Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Ahmad Shah in January, as well as Deputy Prime Minister Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's affidavit confirming the document's existence. Najib is seeking leave from the court to initiate judicial review to enforce the alleged royal addendum, allowing him to serve his time under house arrest instead of in Kajang prison. As the clock ticks down to polling day for Kuala Kubu Baharu on May 11th, a former DAP lawmaker has stated that there is a disconnect between the Selangor state government and the Indian community there. Charles called on the Selangor MB to meet with them and respond to their grievances. Former DAP lawmaker Charles Santiago has issued an ominous warning to Pakatan Harapan and Selangor Menteri Besar Amiruddin Syari. Speaking to Malaysia Kini after visiting Kuala Kubu Baru, he said there is a disconnect between the Selangor state government and Indians. According to Charles, there were also suggestions that the Menteri Besar meet with the Indian community to respond to their various grievances. He expressed hope that Amiruddin would take up the request, especially when the community is upset and looking at alternatives. Charles said Indian voters are unaware of or have not received the state's welfare initiatives such as capacity building and entrepreneurial efforts to address income and poverty issues. He said there is a perception that they are being discriminated against. Elaborating, he said decades-old housing problems have not been settled despite promises during every election, and the people believe there is no political will. He said due to this, hence, solving the housing issue will go a long way to soften Indian anger. Previously, Malaysia Kini reported that there is a campaign to convince Indian voters to boycott the election because the government has purportedly neglected the community. Former DAP leader P. Ramazami, who has since founded the Indian-based party Urimai, also urged Indian voters not to support the Harapan candidate. Speaking at an event last night, MIC Deputy President M. Saravanan acknowledged that there is a certain degree of frustration towards the government but urged Indian voters not to boycott the polls or cast their ballots in anger. And that is all for me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you would like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.